live streaming show. My dear friend Stella has been spinning. So we are live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Periscope. And so this is a new series that I'm launching. I don't know how many of you have heard of this. And if you have been following me on my other live streaming shows, so I have been talking about this. I'm organizing, very excited. I'm organizing Entrepreneurship Immersion in Singapore. And this is a life-changing program. It is something that I wish I had for my own children. I wish I had when I was younger, when I was starting out on this entrepreneurial journey. So the program is designed for 18 to 25 years old young adults who are interested in learning more about entrepreneurship, to see the possibilities out there, to embark on an inside-out approach to entrepreneurship. And the exciting part of this program is there is an immersion. Besides online learning and earning certifications, students will physically be visiting Singapore. Oh my gosh, you're the best. So we'll be visiting Singapore, and I have about 10 speakers like Stella, super successful entrepreneurs, top-notch digital marketers, to come to Singapore to share their knowledge about social media, personal branding, entrepreneurship, to share with you. And you will have a close access, intimate conversations with all those speakers in Singapore. You guys will be staying at the same hotel. So I'm launching this speaker spotlight series to share, to invite every single speaker who is going to speak at my event to share with you about the things that they are going to talk about at the immersion program in Singapore. I will also briefly mention more about my immersion program. So my first speaker that I'm going to highlight is my dear friend Stella, and I cannot wait to connect with Stella in person. Stella and I were actually connected, I think, on LinkedIn through another rock star, John Experian, and which is a LinkedIn star himself. And Stella is another LinkedIn star. I love her content. And Stella is an international education and training consultant, and she is actually originally from the United Kingdom, but I'm going to let her to share with us where she's joining us from globally. Very exciting. And Stella is also, in my opinion, a LinkedIn organic growth superstar. And her content on LinkedIn, her community, and I think you have cracked the code of LinkedIn organic reach, my dear Stella. So really, really honored to have you to support the classroom without walls movement. I truly believe the best education happens outside the classroom, and students need to learn not only from professors, academics, but also practitioners like Stella. So thank you, and share with us. And first of all, tell us where you are joining us from and what time is it for you.
Okay, so thank you for having me. This is again another honor being on your show. You know I love you so much, right? So I'm calling from the beautiful Oman, which is in the Middle East, about 14 minutes by plane from Dubai. So I've been living here now since the end of July, and I'm working for an amazing organization here in Oman and loving my experiences so far. So I'm here in Oman. It's just gone 8 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, that's where I am right now. Hot Oman.
So excited. I cannot wait to finally connect with you in person. So first, you will be talking about LinkedIn at the event. So share with us, how has LinkedIn helped you get to where you are today?
Oh my gosh! If it wasn't for LinkedIn, I wouldn't be even here in Oman right now. That's the honest truth. I registered on LinkedIn in 2009, and I remember registering. I remember it so vividly, actually. And I remember coming on LinkedIn for the very, very first time, and I thought, this is not a platform for me. It felt really stuffy. It
Oh,
felt like a lot of what we call professional men in suits type platform, and I just didn't think it was for me. So I kind of like left it, and I went about my business, being a training consultant. Then in about 2017, late 2017, I decided, you know what, let's give this LinkedIn thing a go again. Let's go and see what LinkedIn is all about. So went on it, and again just started to build my network. I think I came back with in 2017 with about 120 followers, no more than that, in all honesty. And then I just started to see how it was kind of worked. I saw it changed enormously. People were putting different types of content on LinkedIn, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm just gonna put what I do. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna connect with people. I'm gonna see if I can generate leads. At that time, I was actually a freelance training consultant, so I needed leads work. Oh, she's cut again. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Right, okay. And that's another thing we need to explain to our lovely audience or whoever might be watching. We have to connect using our my VPN. So intermittently there might be a cut in the podcast. So just bear with us. So anyway, I was putting out content, I was engaging with people, and then all of a sudden I started to get some interest from potential clients. So I remember my very first lead was what we call a lurker. So a lurker, as I would define it, basically means somebody's just reading your content. Your content is coming through their feed. They're not necessarily engaging. They're not necessarily liking, but they're noticing who you are. So I
Mhm.
had one of those lurkers, and she just contacted me and said, "Look, you keep popping up on my feed with your content, and I actually like what you're doing, and I'd like you to come and do some work for us in quality assurance, because that's my field, quality assurance, vocational qualifications." So I said, "Yes, fine." I said, "Where are you?" She said, "Saudi." She said, "Saudi Arabia." I was like, "Saudi what? Saudi Arabia?" So I said, "Okay, fine." We talked, and within literally weeks of first connecting with her, I was in Saudi Arabia for an amazing program, a 3-week project in about 4 different regions in Saudi Arabia. Came back from Saudi Arabia. I came to Oman to see a friend of mine on the way back to London, and I just put it out there in the universe that I wanted to come and work in Oman. Like literally, I fell in love with Oman the moment I just came for the weekend. Went back home, didn't think anything of it. And then another connection contacted me and said, again, really like your content. I really like what you're doing work-wise. Can I come and see you for a potential meeting and potential collaboration? So off I go. He flew in from Malaysia, met him in London, and again, he talked to me about the project, and then I asked where this project was going to be. Guess where it was going to be? In Oman. Again, got that lead, got that contract, ended up working in Oman ended up flying into Oman every single month the whole of last year. And then after that, I more or less got offered a permanent job here in Oman. So here I am. And if it wasn't for LinkedIn, that's the story. Genuinely speaking, if it wasn't for LinkedIn, I would not be sat doing this podcast from Oman. I've also generated amazing leads, working, going, being invited, like yourself, like wonderful you, being invited to come and do talks on how to generate leads. I have LinkedIn connections who basically pay me to work on their LinkedIn strategy and how to put out content and how to generate leads. So LinkedIn, I can't begin to tell you what a powerful platform if you know how to properly use it and have a strategy in terms of getting your leads. So there is my story.
Oh, I love this. There's so much value. Like first of all, I'm very late, and thank you so much for joining us live, Dominic. And Dominic was talking about LinkedIn was kind of boring only 3 years ago, but until recently, it's a totally different game. And I have benefited so much from LinkedIn, and I can't wait to learn more about the hacks and tricks and strategies and tactics behind how you are leveraging like LinkedIn to generate so many leads. And how much did you spend on marketing yourself, Stella? What's your
Right. So this is really the funny thing. I prior to me being in Oman, as I said, I was working as a freelance training consultant. I had no form of marketing in terms of having a website, having business cards. I literally, when I really took LinkedIn seriously, LinkedIn was my marketing. Everything marketing I did on LinkedIn. But as I said, I did it being me. And as much as we can talk about LinkedIn hacks, LinkedIn strategies, the one advice I would give anybody coming onto LinkedIn is just be you. Don't pretend to be anybody else. Don't go imitating anybody else. What works for one person on LinkedIn may not necessarily work for you. You have to find you on LinkedIn. That's literally the first thing I say to anybody wanting to really leverage LinkedIn for business, to sell their products, to sell their services. The buy-in is you initially. So what I mean by that is when I first came on LinkedIn, for example, even what I wore made a real difference because again, when I deliver training, I'm quite an informal trainer. So why would I wear a business suit as my profile picture? It just didn't correlate to who I actually was. So again, I just thought I'm just going to be me, and people are either going to like me or they're not going to like me, and that's absolutely fine. I can't please all 600 million LinkedIn users, but I can sure please quite a few just being me and buying into me. So that's literally, I always smile when people say, yeah, but what are the LinkedIn hacks and what do I need to do and what the algorithms are? Look, people are going to like you for who you are, or they're not going to like you, regardless of all the hacks, regardless of all the algorithms. It's you are the buy-in.
Oh, I love this. You are the business. That's why you are so good, and that's why you are just like being so successful. And the fact that you are actually in a different country as a result of like your LinkedIn content, your LinkedIn connection. I think that's the best, the social proof, the best evidence that anyone can be looking for. So this is really like really exciting. Think about it. Traditionally we have to hand in a resume and application, but nowadays this is such people, right? Anyone like professionals, everyone joining us live right now, we can already benefit from the tips and the strategies that you mentioned, and even like learn how to like embody being who you are, how to embrace that, right? Not trying to be this person, not trying to be Stella, but how to really honor who you are. And that's exactly why I chose the location to be in a foreign country. For many of the students who are going to join this program, they will be traveling internationally. And traveling internationally is such a great way to discover who you are, which is critical for building a personal brand online, for starting a business, for becoming an entrepreneur. And you are in a foreign country yourself, Stella. Maybe you can kind of share with us how has traveling internationally helped you understand yourself, and also even in terms of grow yourself as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a consultant.
I think ultimately, again, it's going to sound, it really is going to sound like a broken record. But again, I have traveled to quite a lot of countries to deliver all sorts of different training. I've been to China, Vietnam, Malaysia, South Korea, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, now in Oman. And of course, the one thing that sometimes you will encounter when you travel internationally, or when you go and deliver, or when you go and work internationally, is language. Language is a big factor. We just assume that English is going to be spoken in all these countries, and it isn't. And it really isn't a first language, second or third language. So
Mhm.
again, I find that I can actually communicate with people who don't even speak English. And I only speak a French, and I speak a Nigerian language. So I don't speak Chinese, I don't speak Vietnamese, but somehow, again, you communicate in a way that they understand. And sometimes a smile can get you places, your body language. And then I find, even here in Oman, I can give a very good example, and I talk about a colleague of mine who speaks no English whatsoever, and yet we communicate probably the best, because again, just through the warmth of who we are as people, the smiles that we just give to each other, we somehow are able to, with little hand signals and sign language, we're able to communicate. So I think, again, the key factor there is the buy-in. It's you that they warm to first, and whatever it is you want to then communicate to them, they will buy into it. And it's the same thing on LinkedIn. The last year, I haven't had to do what we call the hard sell.
Mm.
I just haven't had to do the hard sell. All I have been is just being myself. I talk about my professional life on LinkedIn. I talk about my personal life, which I then link into my professional life, because again, I'm not a robot, so I'm not constantly working. I'm not constantly a professional outside of LinkedIn, outside of work. I've got a personal life. Well, people need to know a bit about you and your personal life, right? To buy into you, to find out what your values are, who, what you like, what your outside interests are. And then they can resonate. When you're telling, LinkedIn is about telling stories. When people resonate with stories, they buy into it. And then from then on, people then will go and check who you are. They will go and check your if it's a service that they're really interested in, or a product that you're selling, they will automatically come knocking on your door. You don't have to do the hard sell.
Oh my
So
God.
again, it's all about being authentic. And I know authenticity is a word that is thrown about LinkedIn on a daily basis. But when I talk about being really authentic, it's about keeping it simple. I don't use big LinkedIn grammar. I don't use big English language. I just keep things stellarishly simple. And
Mm.
again, that I have a hashtag that people are beginning to recognize on LinkedIn. I use hashtag stellaricious on everything. People find me just by that hashtag if they can't remember my surname. So again, that is all part of my brand. It's back to me first, and then my profile will tell them exactly what I do work-wise. They will figure it out, because I'm giving them the facts on my profile. I'm telling them what I've done, and I'm telling them what value I can bring to them. That's all done in my profile. I don't have to keep repeating it and regurgitating through content every single day and boring everybody trying to sell, 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 sell. It doesn't work like that on LinkedIn.
Wow, we have to save some amazing content for the Singapore immersion, but you already dropped so much value. I love this marketing without marketing, and I think that's the most effective way, because nobody is interested in being sold to. I think we got so annoyed, right? Actually, for my other weekly live streaming show on Wednesday, I'm going to have Carlos Gil on the show, and he has just published a new book, which is titled The End of Marketing. So I think, even to a great extent, what you are sharing right now is really kind of a new model in marketing. And I can't wait to have you in Singapore to share
I can't,
even more
I
tips
can't,
and strategies
I can't wait.
with our young adults,
Honestly,
young professionals. So we're just going to be wrap up in a few minutes, and share with us, why did you join? Why did you decide to support the Classroom Without Walls movement? As I mentioned at the beginning of this show, I truly believe the best education happens outside the classroom. And I think our current educational system is so outdated. And just like everything you share right now, and if we have a student watching us right now, this student will be like, wow, I better get onto LinkedIn to improve my personal and professional presence on that platform. So share with us, what is your kind of your personal why, besides being my dear friend, of course, and maybe kind of your take on education. So why do you want to be a part of this movement?
Okay, now the first reason why I want to take part in this, again, you are the buy-in eye. You are the buy-in. That was it. It's again, I can't say anything else because then I'll be
Yes, if I pay you,
contradicting
right?
everything. Well, I'll get the money later on. But do you see what I mean? I can't really say anything other than that because I would be contradicting everything I just said. But look, the moment we met, we connected because again, we're passionate about education. We're passionate about improving education. We're passionate about empowering and inspiring, right?
Mhm.
Now, again, this program was just I was so excited when we first talked about it. I think it was at the beginning of this year, I think, and we've been talking about it behind the scenes, about our excitement, our involvement, and again, we want this to be engaging. We don't want to come and lecture
Oh
these
no,
young people who are coming,
I came from that
right?
academic background. We're not going to do that. That's why I really I spend lots of time selecting the best speakers to come to Singapore to
Oh
really.
no, my sessions are going to be with clappers. It's going to be all interactive, and again, it's not going to be anything heavy. And I keep saying this, even on LinkedIn. I'm coming there to talk about LinkedIn. It's not about being again, so serious all of the time. I have gotten leads by putting out silly videos, but again, they're tricks to put in silly videos, or what people might deem silly videos, but they're tricks of putting out even videos and putting content that matches the videos to then generate leads. It's not rocket science. And this is kind of the things that I want to share with the kids. I want them to have light bulb moments. If you go onto my profile, I'm all about light bulb moments. I want these kids, when we're there, it's just gonna oh my gosh, I get it. That light bulb moment is gonna they really get an understanding that social media nowadays is a platform for business. And they will know. We'll be talking about, look, we will be talking about the big guns out there, the Kylie Jenners, this is billion-dollar girl, and all she's done is market through Instagram. End of. So there's potential money to be made. There's fame to be had. There are many, many opportunities. And these, again, these are the kind of things that we, as, sort of people who are now using the platform to generate leads, I want to pass that on. I want to share the good practice. There's enough business for a lot of people to know exactly how to generate leads on LinkedIn. And it's not as, I've had some people, I've watched so many webinars, I've gone to quite a few networking meetings where people make LinkedIn sound like it's a real complicated platform, when really and truly, it really isn't. So this is what gets me excited. And the fact that it's going to be in Singapore, the fact that you are facilitating it, I can only see it as a win-win eye. So yeah, you are the buy-in for me, genuinely.
Thank you. So that means so much to me. And thank you for endorsing me. And I promise, if any one of you watching this right now, and if you have any question, or if you're not sure if this is the right program for your children or for your friends' children, I'm targeting the audience is between 17 to 27 years old, about like 10 years. For those who are really passionate about entrepreneurship, who feel like they are kind of stuck in life, particularly they are not they're not a big fan of the traditional educational system. They are smart, they are driven, they know there's so much more to life, but they kind of feel stuck. So this program is going to be life-changing. It's going to unstuck those children, to show them what is the possibilities. People say the sky is the limit. The sky is not even the limit. The sky is an arbitrary line that human beings imagine. If you are flying up to the air, there's no physical line, demarking that is the sky. That is not true. To really show our children what is possible and how can they leverage the free tools that they already have to make themselves become known, to create a job for themselves instead of chasing the 9 to 5. And they will also, besides speakers, I'm highlighting all those speakers on a daily basis from today until the end of this month. And every day at noon Eastern Standard Time, and so 9 a.m. Pacific time, and I think that is 5 p.m. British time. And besides interacting and learning from the speakers, and students will also have a chance to visit Microsoft, Adobe, HubSpot, Talkworker, and the leading startup companies in Singapore. They will be learning from all those practitioners and work on challenges. And we also have daily meditation to cultivate our social emotional well-being, because stress and mental wellness, right? And all those have become worse and worse. I worked in higher education for 10 plus years, and I see that as definitely depression, mental health, mental issues definitely on the rise. So if you are interested, and you guys will be staying at a very nice resort, sunrise and sunset, and the amazing exotic food. So I don't know if you are now sold. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm also organizing a webinar on Friday, and I also entered the link in the comment section. The essential skills and mindset that you need to future-proof your career. The webinar is for concerned parents and educators who are going to show their children a different path so that they can fall in love with life, with work, and with who they are. So do you want to say something?
Yeah, I've just got to say this as well. I said, look, to all the kids who want to come to this program, what we as educators, especially I and myself, I'm truly about different learners have different learning styles. The one thing quite a few educators don't fully understand. And this is why this is going to be a different type of program. It's not going to be a classroom based, you're going to be writing endless notes or anything like that. I know for even when I deliver to grown-ups, I take my clappers with me. It's all interactive. You're going to have amazing activities that will also embed the actual content of what it is we're talking about. So, for example, I'm going to talk about how you better or how you effectively communicate on LinkedIn. Because again, I will tell you, everybody communicates on LinkedIn, but do they communicate effectively? I will show you tricks. I will tell you on how you can better communicate effectively. So things like that, I want you to understand that it will all be done in a fun way. It's just going to be laughs. You will learn so much. And as I rightly said, your mental wealth, I can't wait. Your mental wellness is going to be a key factor in this as well. You've got to be in a good place. We will get you in a good place. You've got the environment. You're more than likely we're going to have beautiful weather. We're going to have times where you will actually get to know
in the 70s.
Exactly. And then we'll get a chance to get to know each other as well. And that will give us a better idea of what your learning styles are and how we then deliver the message to you guys. So I might have an idea of how I want to deliver a presentation to you guys, but if I don't know you per se, then you're going to find it extremely boring. But if I take my time out and then you tell me about yourself, so get ready to tell me everything about yourselves, then I can gauge how myself, how Caroline, how we are going to deliver for you. We want this to be a success. It will be a success. And we're really, really, honestly, I can't begin to tell you the amount of work I has put into it. In the background, we've had our own long chats about what we want to do, how we want to just make this something entirely different from the norm. And it will be. I can't
Totally.
wait. I'm
And there's
so
also,
excited.
I love how you mentioned, Stella, like this personalization. I taught at classes like 300, 400, 500 kids. This one, I'm only limit the group to 30 students, and you will have a chance to hang out with us. You know, in the morning we'll be kind of in a seminar room to do some hands-on learning. In the afternoon, we're going to go out, we're going to explore, we're going to have fun. So you will really be hanging out with us, and I can promise you, if you decide to join this program, and if by the end of the 10 days, you feel like your life is now transformed at all, I return every single penny to you. I can definitely promise you on that. And no students, homeschooled, traditional school, or like go to a public or private school, no student will have access to this level of speakers that I'm bringing in, and our digital mentors. Did I mention we also have digital mentors? No student will have access to this level of entrepreneurs at their
and look at the organizations come in. Look at the organization. Look. There's Microsoft. Can it get any bigger than Microsoft? Even I'm excited. Honestly, I can't begin to tell you. It's like countdown time now, guys. Counting down.
Oh my God, I just love you. So this is amazing. And as I promised you, I will only go live for 30 minutes. And if you are watching this live or watching this on replay, you can see in the banner at the bottom of the screen, a classroom without walls.ai, not .com, .ai, my name. And so you can please go to the link, application only. Okay, I want to make sure we have good students who are driven, who are ready to have their life transform, so that I don't waste your time or money and you don't waste our time or money. And so it's an application only. Make sure you go to that link and apply. And we can also do, if you are a parent watching this right now, feel free to schedule a quick chat with me. And so anyway, or join my webinar on Friday and to discuss the essential skills and mindset that you need to future-proof your career. So thank you so much again, Stella, and share with us where can people learn more about you and follow you online.
So online, I'm on LinkedIn, Stella Da Silva. You can't miss me. I've got 2 little stars. Stella means star, of course. So Stella Da Silva on LinkedIn, at Steldas on Instagram, Stella Da Silva on Facebook. LinkedIn is probably my favorite all-time platform. So I'm there a lot of the time. Though this week, I must admit, I'm kind of like in and out of LinkedIn because I've got my family over here from the UK. So I'm kind of like taking a bit of time out, but I'm always still on LinkedIn, but probably not as active.
Lost you for a second. So I think we lost Stella. And everyone, please, I entered the link to Stella's LinkedIn. So please connect with her on LinkedIn and check out this link, Classroom Without Walls. We are starting a movement, and we are going to revolutionize how children learn. And learning should be fun, should be addictive, should be transformative. And this entrepreneurship immersion is going to make that happen. And thank you so much, Stella.
Thank you for having me, and I can't wait to see you in December. Honestly, I'm so excited.
I'll see you in
Singapore.
Bye, I love you. You're the best. Bye, my dear. Bye, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for doing us live. And tomorrow at the same time, I'll be spotlighting another speaker. So who is coming tomorrow? Join us live to find it out. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God.